the front and the back. On the front side, there's the Artemis showing that crater right there with the radial lines on the near side. And there's what the far side of the moon is, as NASA claims. And there's that crater right there, all fuzzed out as it slides by. There it is right there, coming into view there. Robert and I looked at that carefully to make sure that those radial lines line up.
But let's just say, even if it was this one up here, it doesn't matter, because this you cannot see. From where they are. These guys here, because when you look at where the Earth is, so let's just see where the Earth is here first. Okay, we should be seeing this side here from the spacecraft.
We should be. Why aren't we?
And yet we're seeing the near side. Which is this.
They got it messed up. Like I said, one of the guys in the comments said that just looks like they're shooting at a potato and just put it out of focus a little bit.
So now if you were on the Earth here, you would see the far side.
I wasn't looking up at the sky when they did that. When NASA did that, they turned it around. Just amazing what happens in the universe these days.
I mean, that's impossible.
Just amazing what happens in the universe these days.
I mean, that's impossible.
We'll have to phone the guys at Downey Studios and tell them they've got the images wrong. And if you're that close to the moon, we can see all of the detail of the moon. How come that thing is just a gray ball?
That's a good point.
Even that other image they claimed at 80 miles. Yeah, that one. You should be able to see so much detail on the moon from any of the images they're doing. We get more detail than that with a pair of binoculars. And if they're on the backside of the moon on this side, that should be absolutely violent with impact craters, right?
Look at how different this is. To me, the Earth is the right size for where this craft is parked. The sun shining on the back of that craft there where it says NASA, that's going to flood out whatever stars there is out there because the camera's looking at that light. So you're not going to see the stars from that point of view. There's no way. There's too much light there.
That's a good enough excuse for NASA, I guess. You look at the thing, it says tracker and video there. So the only thing live is so-called are the velocity and the distance from the Earth and the distance from the moon, right?
But you see this, I mean, there's your animation right down here. I don't have any problem with any of this stuff because of the way the camera's facing into that light. But the thing is, too, is that we see so much fantasy, we've seen all kinds of stuff in the past.
They're showing here 43,246 miles from the moon. The detail that we can see from Earth on the moon is not present in this. And this is on the back side of the moon, like with the impact craters on the far side of the moon are absolutely incredible compared to the side that we see. And it's not there, it's a smooth ball. I don't care if they're using a 480p resolution on the thing. The physical size of that is about the same viewing as you would see from Earth. You'd still see the detail. And then they're showing detail on the Earth in that thing, but nothing on the moon.
On the far side of the moon, or the backside, or the bit we don't see, there is a very visible crater, recognizable crater. It's called the Tsiolkovsky crater. It's not a circular crater, it's a bit jagged edge, but in the center of it there is a very recognizable highlight, which is the sort of central peak. And that is on the left-hand side of the moon, and we don't see it on that image. It should be there. And it's big enough and recognizable enough to appear on virtually every photograph of the far side of the moon. So why aren't we seeing it? Because it's an animation and they forgot to put it in. Now, if it's an animation, that's exactly what we saw on Apollo. It was all animation on Apollo. And it's interesting what you say, Robert. There are people in the comment asking really quite pertinent questions about Artemis. What about the radiation? Why don't we hear about that? If there are solar flares out there, why don't we hear about that?
Actually, right there, it just gets fuzzy. Look at that, nothing.
And where's the Tsiolkovsky crater? It's the most prominent feature on the far side of the moon.
This is a previous day, which means that the far side of the moon was lit. You see that crater there with all the radial lines on it? That's the side we see. And they were showing it as being lit. And a few days ago, we had a new moon. The 23rd of November was a new moon. So that's wrong. What they're showing there in that image right there is completely wrong. See that crater up on the top right-hand side? We can see that crater from Earth.
Right.
They're showing that as being lit. On the 23rd of November this year, it was a new moon. That should be in complete darkness.
Yeah, but it depends where these guys are.
We see that crater from Earth.
Yeah,
And it's the new moon on the 23rd of this month.
if that is the Copernicus crater, which has some very prominent radial lines near it, and it's in that position on the moon on the left-hand side, if that's the Copernicus crater, and it's lit like it is, then the Apollo landing site should be visible, because there's enough illumination on the moon.
And now they're showing that they're on the far side of the moon, because the Earth is there, and it's fully lit.
It's a mystery, I don't know.
How do you see that crater? It was in total darkness.
See, look at the way the Earth was over on the right side. Now they're coming around this way.
And that's all the far side of the moon.
There's the radial lines that you see from the Earth.
That's right, and that's in total darkness. The Earth cannot be on the far side of that image, because the image of the moon right there is completely wrong, which means that's a total animation.